Good evening and welcome to the Minions of the Zoo Saturday edition. I'm your host and keeper tonight, and with me tonight, a veritable sausage buffet starring DrFunctional.
I'm not going to dignify that with a response.
Okay, Geodes.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
Hi.
I'm not saying anybody's a particular type of sausage. I didn't say Vienna sausage or...
Yeah. Das ist nicht für Wiener Poken.
And we know who the silly sausage is.
Under SkepTok.
Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody.
Oh, now, before anybody asks me what kind of week I've had, let me tell you about my week. Monday.
Tell us about your week.
Monday. No, it was Sunday. I go to do laundry because Sunday is laundry day. And put the laundry in, start it up, go do some other stuff in the next room. I'm like, I wonder what that noise is, because I'm wearing noise-canceling headphones, and then I go, that noise sounds like it's coming from the laundry room, and then I walk into the kitchen, which is off the laundry room, and the magic smoke from the washing machine had escaped into the kitchen. And
you're kidding? The smoke it runs on?
Yeah, the magic smoke had come out of the washer, and bad things were happening. It was not good. Yeah. Turn the light off.
They need that smoke to run.
Deal with it. It's obviously a belt problem because it's like I know the difference between magic smoke that goes with the belts and magic smoke that goes with the motor. This was belt smoke.
The smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you also know the smell.
I know the smell. I absolutely
definitely know the smell of magic smoke.
So this isn't the fun kind. Okay. No. So the next day I'm thinking, well, this sucks. I've got to get somebody out to fix the washer. And I go and I think, okay, time to run the dishwasher, but I better make sure that I clear the disposal first. And I go, just to be sure, because we wouldn't want the disposal to break. I'm going to make sure there's nothing that's fallen into the disposal. I hit the switch. 3 fucking seconds later, the disposal seizes up and never functions again. I am so annoyed. Okay, I get a guy to come out and take care of that. I get another guy to come out and fix the magic smoke in the washing machine. Everything's fine.
You didn't install your own?
I don't do plumbing. Skep, I have a hard line. I don't do exhaust systems, and I don't do plumbing. These are the two things I don't touch.
That's barely.
I don't care.
It's one Teflon.
I do not know what Armstrong torque is. Any discipline that deals in Armstrong torque, I don't have anything to do with. I just don't. Okay.
I feel that.
And
transmissions on cars.
Well, just as it happened, there was a lot of muttering and hammering and rust falling, and it was not good. So I probably would have failed if I had tried to do it. But I had a guy come out who's come out before, and he has like a 0.5 horsepower incinerator, Trash Beaver 5 or whatever it's called. He just comes out and fixes it. Okay. So everything's good there. I could do that. And then this morning, all last night there was terrible weather. And this morning, most of it had gone away. There was horrible wind and a bunch of rain and stuff. And it wasn't so bad, being further south than San Francisco. San Francisco got tornado warned. That has never happened before.
Never happened there.
San Francisco
I lived there for years.
Got tornado warned. We'll talk about that in a bit. Okay, so I'm like talking on the phone, and suddenly I hear this wind kick up. It had gotten very quiet, and the wind suddenly kicked up, and suddenly I hear this tremendous noise, and feel the whole house vibrate. Now, little did I know that a part of my ancient olive tree had decided to unalive itself by crashing into my roof. And also the fence between me and the neighbors. And also the neighbor's roof. Because that's fun, because why not have that whole mess going on?
You're sharing.
Yeah. So I spent the day, doing things that I'm not particularly experienced with, like buying a chainsaw and getting people to come help haul the stuff away and climbing up on ladders and chainsawing giant tree pieces and stuff. And that was super fun for me because, it doesn't matter if you use the Bowflex. It doesn't matter if you try to stay in shape. When you try to do 10 hours of something that you're not used to doing and it uses different muscles, you're going to suffer.
It uses more muscles than what you work out with in the gym.
I was not sure I was actually going to be able to start the show because I was sitting down and I go, oh, now my hamstring hurts. And on one leg and on the other leg, simultaneously, the shin muscle cramped. And I'm like, I don't know if I can actually get to the computer to start the show. And then I go to start the show, and YouTube was just being completely R-worded. I mean, it was just the worst thing. So that's how things are in Harryland. How about you, Skep?
Well, easier than yours. We are continuing to recover from Brenda's 2 surgeries, and she's continuing to make good steps. And my son got moved down here, so in fact, that's where I was last weekend. He got into town, we got to talk, and then I sat down on a recliner and spent the night there. So it's just kind of family stuff, a lot of family stuff, doing normal retired people things, cooking good food. My wife and I have taken to, we cook supper for each other every other night.
Is this the son with the great video on the pew-pews?
Yes, this is Mike. It's Mike. He's very earnest in that video.
I already used profanity early. I figured I shouldn't use the G word right away.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Geodes.
Hi.
We'll talk about the movie later. Anything else you want to talk about, like how great it is to live in New Mexico?
It's so wonderful right now. No, I honestly, I haven't had quite your ordeal this week, but I've had a week in a way. Without going into too much detail, a lot of it is mostly financial related. So it's been a fun week, but I'm hoping I got it all sorted.
Did a Nigerian prince ask you to hang on to some money for him temporarily?
Close. I without going into too much detail, there's somebody who I've been paying to do something for me, and they actually have been. They've shirked their job more than once while getting paid full price, and I finally said enough. I let it happen a couple times. I almost canceled them, but I decided no. There's still a bit of a benefit to having them do something for me, but I am going to adjust some things to try and mitigate some of their behavior. And they still decided to act up. So I said, no, we're not doing this again. So
yeah, sometimes you just got to put your foot down.
Yeah,
people think that they will be liked more if they're easygoing. Sometimes that's true. More often than not, if people start to perceive that you're a pushover, they will pretend to like you, but they will lose all respect for you. Well, not just you, anyone, right? You will not make friends by being too easy, ever.
Yeah.
And so I always tell people, don't feel bad about this.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah. I don't feel bad at all because I did everything I was supposed to on my end. It has been entirely on their end. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, but yeah, there was definitely a sincere lack of respect and definitely being taken for granted.
Yeah, don't put up with it.
Yeah, I'm done.
And at this point, your only regret is probably that you didn't do it sooner.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
hey, having faith in people doesn't always pay off. That's okay. I mean, sometimes you have faith in other people and try to give them their chance, and it's really more for you than for them because you just want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And it's over. Yay.
Yeah.
Hi, Functional.
Hi.
How's it going?
I've had a week too, but nothing I wish to talk about in an open forum. Just,
double
life is life.
Week.
Yay.
I thought it was Friday.
There you go.
Saturday.
I'm really heavily medicated.
Oh, I might have to get some advice. Actually, I think I've got the only CBD thing I've ever purchased. I didn't think it really worked. Maybe I should rub that all over my arm because that's what it's actually for.
Is it it's a balm?
Yeah, I think I threw it away because it mostly just reduced the inflammation of my wallet and didn't really seem to do much of anything else.
Oh, that's a shame because the stuff that I get, if I try different flavors or whatever, but I got this like cream soda, infused soda.
Yeah.
That tastes a little bit more like root beer, but with that sugary finish that you get with cream soda. And the great thing is, it doesn't like use refined sugars or anything like that. It's a small company here, carbonated water, citric acid, blah blah blah, concentrates, cane sugar. So it gives it that like rich sort of flavor of the sugar as well. So it's like, I don't know. I think this is my new favorite one. And as you can tell, it's kind of gotta be okay.
It's rounded off some of the rough edges.
And the light, I'm like the dog meme. The room is on fire and everything's fine. Soda makes everything fine.
There you go.
Jen is saying hi, Geodes.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jen. Hey, Jen. Hey, nothing to see here. Hey, Green Badger Outdoor. Hey, Raymond Lewis. Okay, I've said hey to everybody.
You know what's interesting? We're in the middle of what day is today? The 14th? Yes, today's the 14th. So starting today until February 14th, there's no sales tax on like a whole bunch of shit.
Nice.
It's really weird. No, it's not nice. Well, I mean, it's nice. I'm going to take advantage of it, but it's not nice in that it's just a big clusterfuck and a big fuck you to voters. I'm totally going to take advantage of it.
Yeah,
I can. It's so weird. Like there's like Warhammer is covered, consoles and the like hard copy video games are covered. Not DRM video games, which is pretty much almost everything. Certain model kits, yes. Other model kits, no. Cooked chicken, yes. Raw chicken, no. Like it's so weird.
Yeah,
so weird.
Skep, your mic is very close to your keyboard.
Oh, sorry. I'm just saying hello to everybody.
No, as well you should. I don't want you to be antisocial. It's just
I'm just a little quieter with the keyboard. My keyboard is very loud. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You should get the red switches. Those are extra good. No, that's actually not true. God, I had in the whole keyboard thing, which I know we've talked about in the past. The Cherry MX Blue switches are the really obnoxious ones. They're the super tactile ones, and they just make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
They feel good, but people know you're getting work done when you have a keyboard with those in it or anything like it.
I like spongy keys. I don't.
Then you would like.
I know switches. People like having that tactile like feedback that they push the key.
Yeah,
but like, I don't know. For me, it's just. It could be a flat panel. It could be something like in Star Trek, right? Where it's like completely flat panel. Like your phone is a good example of that. And maybe it's just like the difference in the generations.
No. It's the gamer thing. A lot of people like that. You honestly, you're just somebody who would like linear switches. And they really don't provide tactile feedback.
I want a complete flat keyboard. No texture, no nothing. Just completely flat, like an L-Cars interface. I would love that.
Okay.
Just on an angle.
Well, they were working on a product, a long time ago. It was like a little thing that was almost like a projector that was Bluetooth, and it would project the keyboard onto the table in front of you and then monitor where your fingers went. That. That's what you need.
No, I mean, like I want something there. Like my phone's just way too small for my hands, and I've got a fairly large phone. Like I like that sort of tactile, just knowing what to push kind of thing. So if I could have something like that.
Well, linear keys are the closest mechanical thing that you're going to get. And you could get one with like a very light spring weight, and you'd probably be pretty happy. But you don't even want them to move, so you'd even want one with like really short travel. It is doable.
The Microsoft one I use now, it's a Go Wing. I like that.
Okay. All right, let's see. Where shall we begin?
Suddenly, a Quippers United showed up.
It's Jack. All right. Let's see if I can remember how to do this after the long shitty day that I've had. Let's see. Browser. Bazing. Okay. So I guess Trump has been running around the world talking to world leaders, even though he's not president yet.
Yeah.
And Ford,
Yes, he is. Oh,
premier,
he's so president.
well, Ford is what, the premier of Ontario, right?
Yeah. So he's like our governor.
So he decided to get engaged in some
He's a
tough
complete
talk
fucking retard.
with Trump, threatening to cut off the energy that they sell to the border states.
Yeah.
And Trump was like, yeah, well, hey,
what are we
knock
gonna do
yourself
with
out.
it? They're so dumb.
It is really dumb. First of all, it's like you enjoy not having money. you like not having friends. Really, is this the approach you're going to go for? It's pretty dumb.
The whole reason he got into office at all in this terminally liberal province is because the previous liberal retard sold off the power generation to private concerns. It used to be a publicly invested utility and made us a whole fuck ton of money because guess what? Americans like cheap electricity. Who would have thunk it?
We love it.
We produce so much hydroelectric and nuclear energy. We're just like swimming in this shit. So we're like, hey, you want to buy some energy on the cheap? They're like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, those sweet jewels.
We're good. But then she sold it off. They started, the companies themselves started fucking around with both Canadian and American clientele. And now he's doing this shit. It is it doesn't matter if they're liberal conservative up here. They're all fucking retarded.
Yeah, they're not just playing chicken. They're
so
playing
dumb.
R-word chicken, which is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
This is just sort of an aside as Trump makes his way around the world. Things are going to be a little non-linear because somebody had a tree fall in his house and didn't have as much time to put the show together as I normally would. So it's going to kind of be a little bit all over the place tonight. So you're not going to get the nice little themes that you might like.
Ford is more akin to like a bird running into Trump Tower.
I liked his brother better, and his brother was a drug addict.
He was actually good.
He was at least entertaining.
Oh, wow. He smoked crack once. I don't fucking care. What did he do in his job as mayor? Oh, he saved the city a whole bunch of money, and the city started actually getting back into black. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't care about your personal problems if you can actually run the city properly.
Yeah, really.
How would you feel about 30, 40, and 50 terabyte hard drives? Maybe that doesn't affect you.
Yeah, me like you.
Yeah, so there's a new technology that's been in the works for a while, HAMR, pronounced the obvious way, hammer. And what this allows you to do is essentially a small nano laser heats the surface of the magnetic media, allowing you to use smaller and more focused bits of, magnetic energy, basically to put the pattern on the media, allowing for much, much higher densities. And it's maybe not as robust in terms of errors as the regular perpendicular magnetic recordings, what it's called, or CMR type drives. There's a thing called a shingle drive, which is just terrible. Okay, don't use those if you like having your data.
So
but
are we supposed to pronounce that Coomer?
I don't know. I'm not a Wojak guy, but the hammer drives, you're going to start seeing them because they've essentially been certified by some big customers and some labs. And you're going to start seeing these things hit the market at the 30 terabyte point. And it's going to be great. These things are actually coming to market soonish, like next year kind of thing.
Oh, next year?
And in quantity.
Well, that's good because, once they release, you wait another year, 2, 3, 4, and the price has gone down substantially. People just start, buying them for their own PCs. Because
And even if you don't care about this, they're going to drive the cost down on all the things that are smaller as well.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
The way
innovation is great.
Skep?
The way hammer works is very, very interesting. It uses a laser to heat a small area of the disk during the data writing activity. And it makes it, what happens is when you do that, you make the metal more receptive to to magnetic effects, and that allows for writing smaller regions.
Yes.
Which increases the amount of data that can be stored on the disk, and it's actually fairly dramatic, the improvement.
Now, Western Digital has decided they're going to come out with their own answer to the 30 terabyte drive, but it's not a hammer drive. What they did was they said, screw it. Just, get out the crowbar and cram one more platter into the existing drive. It'll be fine.
That's a Western Digital mindset. You have to know that company. You have to know the telephone business.
They full white snaked that design. They just said, just slide it in, boys. Here, enjoy having more storage.
Yeah,
just as good. Just
plenty
as good.
more heat. Plenty more heat.
So, Geodes, you went to a movie, right?
I did.
Let me see if I can find an article for this or a link. So it was Lord of the Rings,
The War of the Rohirrim.
Rohirrim Girl Boss Extravaganza.
Yeah. It was I think I said if you turn your brain off, it's okay. If you think about it and try to tie it more closely to lore, especially if you try to look this stuff up, it gets a little let's just say that the cracks really start to show.
Well, let's not do spoilers now. Before the show, you were talking about like basically who owns this IP, right?
I don't honestly entirely know, but my general understanding is there's a company out of Japan that's assisting in this.
There's a company out of Japan, but essentially the whole Amazon thing it was Amazon, right, that made those terrible series.
Yeah.
So there's the rights to the main story stuff, which goes into the big movies. And I forget who holds that now, but there's also some other rights that are allowed for essentially stuff in the appendices and some of the notes surrounding it. Skep can correct me, I'm sure, on this, but this story I think falls under that because it's sort of briefly mentioned, like the way what was that thing that Atlantis was mentioned? I mean, there's like a one-line mention of this, and they turned like it into a whole movie.
Exactly. This is the thing: is they'll go into the famously into the appendixes of the Return of the King is only about half novel. The other half of it are all the appendices that tell you things about Middle Earth and what happened before and what happened subsequently after Frodo's adventure. So what these guys do in the mining for content is they go in, they say, okay, well, there's this mention of this guy named Brand back in the ancient Rohirrim legend. And Brand was, this great warrior. We'll make a story about him. What was the one sentence that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote about Brand? And they'll have that in there, or and so they'll concoct an entire story, and then they'll dress it up in the authenticate in the livery of authentication or being authenticated by coming from J.R.R. Tolkien himself. As though J.R.R. Tolkien wrote this story. If they wrote the story, he mentioned the name of a character, and this is again and again with these things. I won't watch them. I won't watch one of them.
Yeah, well, I'm not watching the supposed Dune prequel because that ain't gonna happen.
No, that same thing, same problem, same reason I gave up on Star Wars.
But this is about Geodes and his terrible time at the movies. Geodes,
yes, I'm sorry about that.
No, I did that, but I wanted to clear up the whole thing about what the IP was behind this thing. So, tell us about the movie without ruining it for anybody who's dumb enough to go watch this thing.
So I'll give you the basic setting. Okay. This is supposed to be about 200 years before the events of The Hobbit, I believe. And it follows a conflict that I guess it was probably mentioned in The Return of the King, maybe even the Silmarillion, I'm not entirely sure, where Rohan and Dunland, which is its neighboring province where the Wildmen live, got into a war that basically almost like collapsed Rohan.
It's second age.
I think they have it as like third age. I'm not sure, but it's one of those things where
it's late second age, and then some of the events that ended the second age, the big war.
Yeah, right. Anyways, and so basically what they did was that for the royal family of Rohan, they have all these characters named, and a lot of these characters are written in the lore, and then they mention this one character who, like, they just say an unnamed daughter, basically. So what they did was they took this unnamed daughter and built this whole story around this character. They gave her a name. They made her a focal point for the whole plot, basically, and it's all about her. That's entirely what this is, and it isn't just like her role allegedly in this time period. It is also like they start changing parts of the actual lore that I guess was established to, like, where, like, for example, she kills the main bad guy when in fact actually it's supposed to be her cousin, who the future king of Rohan, who kills the bad guy. And I mean, there's a number of other things. Like they go into like the whole narrative, like, oh, she doesn't want to be married. She wants to be basically free. And, I think she ends up like announcing she'll only marry death or whatever. It's really stupid. I wrote a whole 3-page document breaking this thing down of how bad it is. And we honestly, we just don't have time, but it's bad. It's really bad. I told you was it's feminism camouflaged as Lord of the Rings.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad.
What was the one thing you really hated about this? Something that really bothered you.
I think the thing that probably irritated me the most, I think, might have been near the end. There's a when they rout the wildlings finally, because the Rohan wins. Spoiler alert. I don't think that's a huge spoiler alert, but
they are wild men with clubs against mounted guys with bows and arrows and
so, exactly. So Rohan wins, and there's a scene at the end.
So much for spoiler free.
All right, but where this girl turns to her cousin, who is the only reason they're alive, and she's just like, oh, let them go. Like, let them run back home to their families. Let them be with their families. There's been too much bloodshed this day, and all this other stuff. Yes. And it's just like these guys. They basically made the main population of Rohan suffer for months on end. They caused thousands of deaths, including the entire annihilation of the main royal bloodline, effectively, because that's something that happens. Again, spoiler. Sorry to tell you, but that is written in the book. So
you don't do the spoiler thing right. The way you're supposed to do it is before you give the spoiler, you say there are spoilers coming, especially after I say no spoilers.
Yeah.
Don't give the spoiler and then say sorry, spoiler.
I mean, if you read
that was the spoiler that defeats the purpose.
If you probably read Return of the King, you probably have heard something. But anyways, it was the whole notion of like, let's let the dark men, effectively, because and I mean dark men in the sense of these are corrupt men corrupted by, like, agents of, like,
the patriarchy. Okay.
Yeah, effectively.
Good.
Let's let these dark men who have harassed our people and, like, tried to destroy our nation. Let's let them go home and be with their families. It's too much bloodshed has been spilled. It's such a tough time, and I'm just sitting there going, no. You ride these people into the fucking ground. It's just like you don't give them a break at all.
Nice.
It's like I think that irritated me the most. There were other moments that were irritating, but they were almost comedic. It was just ridiculous. I don't know. But that was the moment I think I wrote like a full paragraph of just like how irritated I was at that scene. It was awful. So, yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, Skep,
Yes, sir.
you have like a real fireplace, right? Where you can burn dead trees?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah. Earlier this
We
week,
do that periodically.
Earlier this week, I was actually looking up places where I could get some good quality firewood. And I was trying to think, well, how can I store it so I don't have termite problems? Yada, yada, yada. Hey, guess what? I'm going to have firewood soon. I just need to dry this shit out and split it. It's fine. So what about, did I mention the new
5 feet away from your house?
Well, it depends on who you ask. Some people say 20. 5 is a no-brainer though. That's the minimum.
Yeah, that's absolutely the closest you should have firewood to.
Now, I mentioned the 4K fireplace from NASA that just shows the rocket exhaust plume in the fireplace. It's like, okay, honorable mention.
Nice.
I can't play too much of this because of the music that's going to get me killed, but there's the Grateful Dead Yule Log Winterland June 1977. And it's just plays Grateful Dead music. Hold on, stop making noise. And shows you a fireplace, and it just runs forever. So if you just want to listen to the Grateful Dead and stare at a fireplace, this is
just like a Jerry Garcia lead. It just goes on and on forever. You think
it's
never
the song that never ends.
I'm kidding.
I think maybe we've reached saturation on the 4K fireplace market.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I feel like we really need like 3 or 4 of them, maybe with different styles of music, but they're all just fireplaces with the popping sound of the crackling fire and all that stuff.
Exactly.
That's all I want. I don't want other stuff added to it. It's like bread pudding. You put what in bread pudding? Why would you do that? You're a moron. But it's better now. No, it's not better.
It's a very pleasant evening here at the SkepTok household when you're on the recliner in front of a fire on a cold winter night where the low is it's gonna get down like 40 degrees, and so you got the fire going to keep warm, and just have dogs piled up all over you and blankets and quilts. It's just great.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I worked as hard as I did for as many years as I did, so I could have a few years of this.
So I can't remember if any of you guys are Warcraft fans.
That'd be functional, I bet.
Well, he's a 40K fan, but I don't know if
I was in the Navy.
That's different.
Oh, that's actual Warcraft.
I know a little bit of Warcraft more.
Okay, well, were you aware that there's a Microsoft Excel World Championship that they hold each year? Because I wasn't.
I don't. I've heard of some different championships. I don't think I know that one.
Excel World Champion solves Warcraft spreadsheet to win crown. Just let that marinate in your noggin for a moment. Excel World Champion solves Warcraft spreadsheet to win crown.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty darn exciting. I know. So I actually have a little bit of the...
No idea what that means.
I don't either. I don't know how you would solve a Warcraft spreadsheet, but this just sounds pretty terrible. Here's what the finals looked like. Let's see, where are they? You can feel the excitement.
All right, in seat. This is where I may lose the last of my voice tonight, but it's worth it.
This is great.
In seat number 1... from Denmark, Anders Linden.
Okay. I just want to point out, this is the Excel World Championship, and they're treating it like an actual sports event. This makes me so happy.
Seat number 2, representing the United States of America, Peter Sharl.
Yay, spreadsheets. He's wearing a headband and little wrist sweat things. This is fantastic. And this is what it actually looks like. You can see the athlete in the bottom right corner.
This is a tough case. All right.
I don't know. I'm having trouble finding words. Skep, could you have entered in this? Would you have reigned supreme?
At one time, I was actually pretty good. I was quite the mechanic with VBA.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Visual Basic, as far as production programming and 4GL, most of my code writing is actually in Visual Basic. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but there you go.
This is not me throwing shade, as the kids would say, on Excel. Yeah. Okay. This is me just saying, why is this competition being run like it's like a video game as a sports competition sort of thing?
It makes no sense to me. You know, it says, as always, the joy of the Excel World Championship is actually watching nerds work their magic. Mm-hmm. This year's 7-hour live stream is up on YouTube, and they have a theme song for this thing.
Oh God!
An incredible epic theme song that plays on repeat during the break. That's worth listening to just by itself, according to this article on thing.
I hope it's 8-bit. That would be cool.
This is PC. Yeah, this is PC World's article on this.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm not against fun. As long as they're having fun, that's good. I mean, if they're making these guys feel like rock stars, sure, why not? But it just reminds me of something. What was it that Butthead said to Beavis? You can't polish a turd, Beavis, because you can only put so much lipstick on this trying to make it look sexy. I just don't. Yeah. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see this either. It's just
I respect the skill, but I don't like the cringe factor. It's pretty high.
Yeah. It just makes me sad for these people.
This is one of the things that I absolutely could not cover last week without you being here. Let's see. Okay.
So
a little check mark next to those. Yeah. Grateful Dead Yule log check. Let's see, is there anything else we need to bring back from last week? Hey, Functional.
Hi.
I did not know that this existed. Did you know there's like an instruction manual for crayons? Oh, fuck you, Internet Archive. There's a book that they actually put out on how to like use your crayons and enjoy them. But apparently we're not going to look at it because the Internet Archive is full of shit. All right, fine.
Actually, I did know that.
It's pretty cool.
I've been to the Crayola factory.
Oh, really? You bastards. Okay. Let's see. Now let's see. How about this 1995 PC World Magazine television commercial?
If you don't stay up with the computer revolution, you're just going to be left in the dust of your competitors.
In today's PC world, you must be PC worldly. PC World Magazine is the most important resource you can have.
Having PC World is like having a classroom on computers in your briefcase.
Call this number.
Yeah, we used to read magazines for articles to tell us about how to use our PCs. Does this even register with you younger folks?
What are these magazines that you speak of, Harry?
It's a thing made out of dead. Oh, here's an article on big screens. Just think, someday you'll have a big screen on your computer. This 14-inch screen, not big enough for you. Someday you're going to have a 20-inch screen. And you're going to think that just think about how fast you can solve spreadsheets with that thing. That's going to be fantastic. Okay. I just found it to be really cringy. Let's see. We talked about the KFC Japan Christmas thing last week, so we don't need to do that. This is going to make you sad, Skep. Apparently things are not going well for the VCs on Sandhill Road.
Oh, what? To wit?
Wait, I can't find... Where's my tiny violin? There it is. Okay. Yeah, they're having... things aren't going well with startups and stuff. So the venture capitalists aren't making nearly as much money as they used to.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So mansions for sale in Redwood?
No, you're going to have to... Well, I wouldn't say that because I don't know how many venture capitalists you ran into, but all of the ones that I've met are cheap bastards.
I know what you mean. I have met the kind of entrepreneur who is they just don't care about spending money on themselves. They're just into the game. And
Yeah.
usually they're gambling addicts too, by the way. Most of these guys who make a lot of money, half of them have a terrible gambling habit.
Well, I told you I was doing a bunch of tech reviews for other people's business proposals for a while, and and sitting in a room with a bunch of VCs, like one of them got a call and had to excuse himself, and they were doing something where they had, believe it or not, just some car washes. And in this conversation that I overheard, they were telling them, you don't need to paint the walls that the customers don't see. Just leave the raw gypsum up. That'll be fine in a high humidity environment.
Leaving the
unpainted drywall in a car wash.
And it's untreated. It's not the waterproof.
No, just paper.
The
it's
purple
fine.
stuff.
Yeah, this will be fine. Oh,
this was the white drywall.
It's probably not even the blue stuff.
The blue stuff doesn't work.
I'm telling you, when you see how the sausage is made, it is pretty disturbing sometimes.
Okay, so who was doing maybe a coat of paint, maybe?
Yeah. You want that. It's a sealer. You really actually want that there. All right. Moving on. Get rid of last week's spreadsheet. We don't need to worry about that anymore. So I did mention...
In an unprecedented move, the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning today for San Francisco, the first in the city's history. According to KGR's sister station, the closest San Francisco ever got to a tornado warning was...
Yeah, so I saw this damn thing on radar. It was like 5-something in the morning, and I was like, God, I wonder how screwed up everything is. So I, as one does, brought up... a big display of all the storms with the storm tracks and stuff. And I go, what the hell is that? It's a funnel cloud. It's heading straight for San Francisco.
Man.
Like, I thought about calling some people and waking them up saying, hey, you're never going to believe this. But no, I let everybody sleep.
Did it go over the city? Yeah, I mean,
it didn't end up being an issue.
Okay. Yeah. So they just had high winds and a bunch of damage, very much like you did.
Well, there were some high winds recorded in a number of locations, but really the wind, as a wind event, this is not nearly as dramatic as some of the other wind events that we've had. It's just the combination of wind and rain that makes it super fun. Because we'll get wind here sometimes without any rain at all, just because the jet stream decides to just give us a little tickle. Yep. And sometimes that happens. But the combination of rain and wind will do things like, I don't know, break your tree.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
No, it's suboptimal.
Yeah, and so this thing crashed your neighbor's house too.
Yeah, it landed right between the two.
This tree is kind of in your front yard over on one side.
Yeah, it's huge.
I know. Okay.
It's an enormous tree.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be firewood. Well, right now I'm just trying to clean up the damage.
What kind of chainsaw did you get? You've never used a chainsaw before.
No, I have used chainsaws before, but I don't consider myself a chainsaw aficionado.
Yeah.
So I looked at it and said, the biggest thing here, I need at least an 18-inch chainsaw. And I went, and I know you're going to think this is stupid, but instead of getting the gas one, I got the electric one from the same line of tools that has all the interchangeable batteries. That thing worked fantastic. Okay, it worked really well, and I spent hours before I even had to swap one of the battery packs. I've already invested in the whole system, right?
They might be okay. I used electric chainsaws, 30 years ago, and they were shite.
Oh, they were absolutely shit, and they were corded.
And they were corded. Yeah, and I have not used one since. And so now it might be, all you need is a powerful enough motor. That's all you need. You just need to run that chain, and if you can put enough force behind that chain, you can successfully cut stuff. And if it doesn't, the tree doesn't care whether the power comes from electricity or gasoline explosion.
You need a little bit more. But sorry, is that Geodes?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
I was just gonna say when my boss had our building refurbished, at least on our level. The construction team that came in for months everything was battery powered. Every single thing was battery powered. And I mean, everything worked fine. It was pretty interesting to watch them kind of do their thing once they had an entryway for us to kind of walk through. So it's I think the equipment's gotten pretty good from what I've seen, just in general. So
well, they have interchangeable batteries. So I got the chainsaw, another charger, because you can never have too many of those, and another 5 amp hour battery. That battery by itself runs
What
like...
brand did you buy?
The brand is called Ego. And so the battery itself is worth like $150 to, I think,
Ego
a little more
or
than that.
Echo?
Ego. And so it actually worked out. I mean, when you look at the whole package, it was like $400. Now, I could have bought a Steel, and I know it's a better chainsaw. I know it has like a whole better system of things, but I don't want to deal with, since I very rarely use a chainsaw, I would rather be able to put the electric on a shelf and not think about it versus having to deal with, has my 2-stroke gasoline engine fuel gone off? Do I need to buy more of it? Do I need to mix more of it? I don't want to deal with any of that. If I was using it every day, I would get a gasoline one in a heartbeat. If I was using it once a week, I would get a gasoline one in a heartbeat. Yeah. But I'm more like a 3 or 4 times a year kind of guy for a chainsaw.
By the way, pro tip on mixing up your stuff: you don't have a chemical they now use to as an additive in the premix stuff. Premix stuff will your 2-stroke motor will last longer with the bottled stuff that you buy at Costco. Your motor will last longer than stuff you mix up because you will not get the same dispersion of the oil. Basically, is the problem.
I talked to the old guy with the vest and the young guy with the vest at Ace, and
two vested Ace people.
And I had got 2 of them helping me, and the kid was talking about, no, but the Steel is way better. And I said, well, has anybody returned these? And he said, no. And I said, have you used it? And he said, no. And he said, but the Steel is way better. I said, okay. I know.
It's a better chainsaw.
I said, if not to be crude, but I'm not looking for Miss Right. I'm looking for Miss Right now. I just have to get a tree off my house. Okay. And if it continues to work after that, that's a bonus. That's
okay.
And I think it's going to be fine. And this way, fewer people will want to steal it from me, which is also another plus. But since I already have all the chargers and the batteries are interchangeable between the different tools, it's a win-win because I get another big battery to use. So I answered your question, right? You wanted to know what kind of chainsaw I got?
Yeah.
The brand is Ego.
Now I want to know who makes Ego because I'm not convinced they make their own. I think they might be buying components.
Their stuff is not the same as a lot of the other brands. I don't look at a bunch of other brands and see stuff that looks exactly like theirs. Whether it's OEM'd by somebody, I don't know.
Their design is different. I can tell just from the shape of the thing. It's different from every other chainsaw.
And who wants cheap batteries? Who wants cheap batteries? I don't.
No.
Because I don't. You've got a 5 amp hour, 57 volt lithium battery in your house on a charger. I don't need cheap batteries that catch fire. I don't skimp on the quality of batteries because you can buy the aftermarket batteries for half the price, even less. And I'm like, no, I'm not buying aftermarket lithium ion batteries. That's a bad mistake. All right, let's see. Let's talk about something else. Let's see. California weather. We're going to talk about the drones, right? Okay. All right. Mysterious car-sized drone spotted in night sky above San Diego County. So, here's a little...
Tonight, after a wave of
Shut up. I
mysterious
don't need to
drone
listen to you.
sightings in
Be
New
quiet.
Jersey, people are
Me. It's like the drones have navigational lights on them. Port, starboard, they're flashing and all this sort of stuff. These are not extraterrestrial things. And some of these things, pretty obviously, if you look closely at them, look a lot more like the prototype sky taxis that I've seen, because there's a few of them, like the ones that I think Joby Aviation are making. What confuses me is if these are people from planet Earth, USA, they ought to know better than to be anywhere near a functioning airport, because that's 50 shades of illegal. So I can't make any sense out of this. The one thing I can make sense out of is people from the government saying, we don't know what they are, but we don't think they represent a threat. Okay, well, those two sentences don't make any sense next to each other.
Yes. Okay. Let me know when you're going to say something meaningful, because those are not meaningful.
All you're saying is nothing to see here, move along. That's literally all you're saying.
And we say back to that person, no, that's not going to fly. We want to know what's going on.
So they had the FAA put out a temporary thing to keep them away from Trump's golf course at Mar-a-Lago. And there's a few other places. And so New Jersey's largest utility firm begs feds to shut down airspace over nuclear plant. Okay. That you would have thought that would be shut down anyway. Do any of you, and maybe none of you care about this, but do any of you have any theories about what might be going on here, or things you'd like? I mean, just they can be wild ass theories.
Of course I do.
Well, I think. Hold on. Did Functional have one?
Oh, someone else speak.
False
I was
flag.
being sarcastic.
Aliens. Oh, aliens. Alien sightseers.
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to this.
Well, I talked to a friend who actually is into that sort of stuff, and she said that, well, of course, aliens, if they came all this distance, could fake the navigation lights. I said, I don't think that seems like the most likely explanation. I mean, anything's possible, but I'm not sure.
The problem is that aliens made of matter can't have come here from anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the end of this.
Well, not with that attitude, Skep. What about you, Geos?
There are no little green men.
Geos, did you see any drones?
I've heard about them. I haven't actually seen any footage, but
did you go outside?
No. But yeah, no. My attitude is I'm like, I welcome our new Skynet overlords. Just saying,
Well, these damn things have been showing up like all over the place. I mean, a lot of them. Okay, it's just crazy.
Right.
So
Wouldn't it be nice
you go on News Nation here, and what's his name is busy talking, and they have an expert who's on, supposedly an expert, for 5 minutes and 47 seconds, who says absolutely nothing. He just talks about the capabilities of these drones, and as a former military guy. Okay, so Scap,
yeah,
if you wanted to, you don't even need a microwave laser. You could just shoot one of these things with a very directed microwave beam and make it very unhappy and watch it fall out of the sky. It's not that hard to kill one of these if it's moving slowly.
It's not. In fact, the Navy is actually developing just such a microwave weapon. But I think what's going on here is several things with the drones.
The King Tides are back this weekend. Now,
hold on, let me kill whatever this is.
Have gotten a front row seat.
Shut up.
And there's also.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you've got several things going on. Drones have just exploded in popularity. Now, lots and lots of people have them. So there's an increase in numbers of drones in the sky. There's an increase in numbers of drones that are, happening anyway. So that's a natural thing that's going on. There seems to be something additional, though, that's putting more drones in the air. That's what I noticed, and that's what I would like to know more about. But as far as what it is, I don't think it's the government, because, first of all, the government could not keep something this large that would involve this many people. They can't keep that secret. They could not keep that secret. I promise you. I've been on the inside. It just can't be done. So I tend to think it's not a military thing, but it could be an intelligence type thing.
Well, there are people that think that no publicity is bad publicity. But the amount of trouble you can get in for having drones near a functioning airport, I think they shut down an airport in New Jersey for an hour. No planes in and out for an hour because of the drone activity. It's hard to keep track of all the news, okay? But if that's actually true, and I'm not just mishearing things or remembering things, that in itself is a thing that will get you jail time if they find that you're behind.
But you know what
drones.
else will? You know what else will? Shooting down a drone, shooting down a flying thing that is under the governance of the FCC is a federal felony. Did you know that?
Yes.
I did not know that until last week.
Well, of course, the powers that be are looking for new powers so they can prevail against the great unwashed drones that are running around.
Mm-hmm.
The usual sorts of suspects like Kathy Hochul.
Yeah.
Hochul? God.
Hokum.
She, of course, is telling the government, you have to do something. Government, please come and fix this problem. Give yourself as much authority as you need to make this not be a problem anymore. And I kind of feel like with very few to no adjustments, if they would just enforce the existing laws, they could fix this problem. I don't see how they really need anything more than the will to take care of it. And Trump predictably has said, yeah, just shoot him down.
Yeah. If it's a problem, we'll make it not be a problem.
Yeah. Just make it not be a problem. Trump calls for mystery drones to be shot down. Okay.
There are going to be some changes, I think, when Trump gets in. I'm extremely excited with who he's got to head up the Navy as CNO.
I think things are going to become a lot more streamlined in certain respects in the executive branch.
Amen. And the other thing is, I cannot wait to have a new press secretary. I'll just leave it at that.
Well,
I can't watch Pumpkinhead one more time. I just can't.
Well, we had what's her name, and then before that we had Peppermint Patty, and
yeah. Kayleigh McEnany was good. But,
she was a complete savage.
Jen Psaki is not as smart as she thinks she is, and not as sophisticated as she thinks she is. But she, leads with that. She's actually a fairly intelligent person, but she just seems to have a few screws loose.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lot smarter than Karine Jean-Pierre, who is just an average intelligence. That's an average intelligence person way, way over their head who is getting all the help she can possibly ask for and still fails enough at her job where she's got to have somebody like John Kirby come in to help her out. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on her.
If you want to know what 100 IQ looks like,
that's right there.
It. There's your picture. 105 on a good day with the wind at her back. 105.
Boy, and guessing lucky. Yep.
All right. So I think I put something in the thumbnail about woke ideas having an expiration date. So I was absolutely
January
shocked
20th
by this. The homeless solution was a costly disaster. What comes next for this RV camp? So they opened up a safe parking area.
And over by Candlestick?
Yeah, over by Candlestick. And this spot.
Point.
So Paul Reyes was finally getting his life together. I know, just finally. And now these mean old people are going to pull the rug right out from under him. How could they do this? His spot was a city-funded RV site, came with free food, laundry services, and therapy. He worked to tackle his drug addiction and felt ready to re-enter the workforce for the first time in his 10 years of homelessness. All that's been derailed now. City officials said last week they plan to close the Bayview Vehicle Triage Center, a safe parking site whose 3-year tenure has been marred by lawsuits, bitter complaints from residents, and an ongoing federal investigation. I mean, totally normal. Nothing to see here. The site, which was supposed to serve 120 RVs at a time, housed just 35. Because this is the way the government works. We're going to take care of 120 things. We only take care of 25. Residents have until Valentine's Day to accept shelter or leave, the San Francisco Chronicle first reported. That's 9 months before the city's lease on the Candlestick Point property is set to expire. Gosh, why would they stop this early, Skep? Can you think of a reason why they might stop this early? The project has been under scrutiny for its high price tag. City documents show that in 2023, the annual cost to keep one vehicle at the site was $140,000.
What?
$140,000 a year per vehicle to keep people's motorhomes there to keep them from being homeless. $140,000 per vehicle per year.
Per vehicle.
Yeah.
Per year.
Yeah.
That's just the straight cost spread. That's I guarantee you that's 100% cost spread. That's a little bit unfair, but in terms of, that's because it's not 100% variable cost and all that stuff. But it still is just a gigantic waste of money.
Yeah. So
the price of cable's outrageous these days.
It
Just
is,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's probably free Wi-Fi. You could just
True,
share
yeah.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
passwords. Fine.
Free Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi. It's free, right?
It's just in the ether, the way that Nikola Tesla wanted it to be.
Yeah, just like gravity.
So you still
Wi-Fi.
remember school, right? Geodes?
Yeah.
It hasn't been that long.
What's that?
You remember?
I wish it had been that long, but yeah.
I don't want you to dox yourself. Okay. So,
Yeah.
but there are some schools in California that are really, really liberal and have some pretty wacky ideas. So University of California at Santa Cruz. Okay. You're going to love this. Faculty mourn loss of Feminist Studies Department. It turns out a lot of the people who were working in the master's and PhD program in feminist studies or women's studies, that a bunch of them have just sort of like died or retired, and people just don't want those jobs anymore because probably they're getting better jobs in HR departments, right? So they're actually going to no longer offer these specialty programs in feminist studies. It's funny when reality catches up with you.
UCSC is closing down their feminist studies department.
They are.
What?
It's amazing.
That's people don't realize that this is University of California at Santa Cruz, right?
Yeah, basically in a competition with Berkeley and Humboldt to see who can be the most crazy.
Yes, but Santa Cruz is think of it as the Paris of lesbianism. Jesus Christ. I can't believe that just blows my mind. That's got to be a funding thing.
Yeah. Well, they just don't have staff.
Yeah.
You know, it says right here, the 50-year-old Feminist Studies Department at UC Santa Cruz will be dissolved after its 5 remaining professors voted to disestablish the program, the university announced. Felicity Schaefer, a faculty member in the department since 2005, said it was a difficult decision to make, but the loss of faculty over the years made it hard on those who remain. They actually have a shortage of Andrea Dworkin wannabes.
Jesus Christ.
Nothing of value was lost.
And nothing of value was lost. Please, for the love of God, get a real degree.
Yeah, all you future Kate McKinnons, Andrea Dworkins.
Yeah.
Evil. The Death of Men. The Death of Men. Remember that by Dworkin?
Yeah. She's a lovely individual. Just the best.
She was awful. She was amazing. She was around and hitting the college circuit when I was in college. Did you know that? She was still alive then.
Yeah, she makes God, who was the atheist woman? She makes Madeline Murray O'Hare look cuddly.
Madeline Murray O'Hare is a big.
She's cuddly compared to Andrea Dworkin.
Compared to AD. Jeez, Andrea Dworkin is about as purely monotonically, vociferously hateful of men in any form or format. She is truly a crazy bitch, and she had a very strange upbringing too.
Yeah, she was labeled a man-hater, anti-sex, and ugly, but she predicted both the ascent of Trump and Me Too, and her unapologetic attitude is more relevant than ever. No, it's not. Go pound sand. Okay.
Well, here's the thing about Andrea Dworkin. I mean, I studied this woman. She was the toast of the town. She and Catherine McKinnon when I was in school. She's actually very intelligent, Harry. Believe it or not.
Oh, I believe it.
She is a smart cookie, but she's twisted.
Functional.
Sorry, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you like tiki bars?
Don't make me look at this thing.
Do you like
please.
tiki bars?
Yeah, could you take
I
that
like
off,
anything
Harry?
that isn't this on the screen right now.
I love tiki stuff and tiki
Thank
bars. You. So people
what makes a tiki bar?
Drinks. Well, basically a lot of it is drinks and the other part is decor. So you get a lot of sort of island themed kind of drinks, a lot of rum drinks.
And
so like you can have a volcano cocktail, which is a beautiful cocktail, right? So it's like fruit punch in like a moat, and then it is served in a particular bowl that has a volcano in the middle, and then you have a flaming pool of 151 at the top, and you give this to a table of people with long straws so they won't burn themselves. And so they have to like drink. Okay, so it's just like sports and drinks all sort of mixed together. I find the whole tiki thing to be really fun. So a couple of restaurateurs started this tiki bar like a bajillion years ago. And they're basically saying you cannot really run a restaurant in Oakland anymore. They said, I can't talk. Although he called running a business in Oakland a living nightmare in the Instagram post and cited break-ins, police indifference, bureaucratic ineptitude, and greed in action as causal factors. Yeah. So a couple of restaurant guys who are successful are going to close down their tiki bar that's been up there for a couple decades because the city of Oakland can't grab their ass with both hands. It's irritating to me because it's one of those things that's kind of dying out, and Oakland is doing nothing to keep from pushing it over the edge. It's a very niche kind of thing. The fact that I had to explain it to you, and you seem like the kind of guy who would really like it, tells me that it's very niche.
I would like it?
I think you would, because it's a lot of fun.
Somebody who doesn't drink?
Oh, that's right. You have other things. You know, there's actually a lot of virgin tiki drinks that are pretty good.
I mean, I've enjoyed a margarita or two or some of those other fruity drinks. I don't know. I was never really into bar stuff.
Okay.
I like going to like a cigar lounge and having a nice cigar and a nice like finger or two of whiskey.
Okay. Here is a tiki bar that still exists in the fuck you people in the.
But literally, the second that they said you can't even have the option of having smoking in any of these bars, I stopped going. Okay. And I don't even smoke anymore.
That makes you a single issue bar person, I guess. In some ways.
Really. Yeah. No, I mean that's just pushing it over the line.
Okay, but this is fun. This is a place in San Francisco called the Tonga Room, which might be the Alpha and the Omega.
Is that a boat?
Yes, it's a boat. So you can see what the decor looks like. There's a boat, and then periodically there's like thunder and lightning and it rains. So you can like drink and get drinks on the boat, or you can hang out in there and watch the rain and the boat go by. It's like they really go all in on the kitschy aspect of it. It is kitschy and it is stupid, but they lean into it with no reserve whatsoever.
I mean, if you can't get out over to like Thailand or something or exotic like this, yeah, sure.
I like all of it. I like
Thailand does not look like this.
I like the shirts. I like the drinks. I like the music. I like all of it. This again is kind of like my football.
Really?
Yeah, I like tiki stuff a lot. I have a lot of tiki mugs.
I had no idea.
And I have some really cool shirts. I've got a few shag design tiki shirts and then some vintage ones.
Doesn't that mean you're racist though?
100%, man. 120%.
Yeah, like you're appropriating. What culture is it?
I mean,
it's not just appropriation. It's a reference to the tiki thing with the groypers and all that crap.
Hey, we all have things that we do because we think they're fun, right? And they're little niche things. And that's all. For me, this is a thing.
My interest in J.R.R. Tolkien is perfectly normal.
The reason why I kept thinking Functional would like this is because I think it's cool and I think Functional's cool. So therefore, by the transitive property of coolness, he should like tiki things.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, dude, if I took you to one of these, you'd have a good time.
Sure.
Yeah.
There are
like
tiki
fun.
bars wherever there are Navy ports. you can always find a tiki bar. I've always liked it.
And the food is good too. I mean, nothing about crab rangoon I don't like. I mean,
I'd rather like it be a bar that looks like, I don't know, 10 forward. They get served by people or sitting next to people in like, I don't know, uniforms. I don't know.
They had one of those, didn't they?
Well, they have the Star Trek cruise where they do that kind of stuff.
Don't they have the Star Trek? There was like a Star Trek themed thing in Vegas for a while.
Oh.
Where you get onion rings, but they call them rings of Beta Z, and it's a bit much.
Yeah, that's the thing. They tend to just go overboard with a lot of this stuff. Like a boat. I mean, I get the rain thing. That's kind of cool, but a boat.
I'm easy. I like it when that happens at the store in the produce section. You know, where you hear the little recording of the thunder.
Yes,
and then the water comes down
too.
on the.
I strangely
that makes me
like
happy.
That makes me happy.
It makes me happy. It's great.
I never would have told anybody.
Geodes took
that
off.
makes
That's
me
why
smile.
I can't hear him. Okay.
Yes.
Goodbye,
yes.
Geodes. Okay. Well, I won't throw things to him then. Okay, fine. Well, it was good for him to join us. I know he has difficulties with scheduling sometimes. Okay, Oakland, you suck because you let a lot of good businesses go out of business because you're inept, and you don't deserve nice things because you're Oakland. Let's see. We did the Ford thing.
Oh, and of course it's California, because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, and then let's just do one from the Wayback Machine. Anybody here remember the Duke lacrosse case?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Boop. Okay. Crystal Magnum, who accused 3 Duke lacrosse players of rape, now says she lied.
Imagine
It only took
my shock.
It only took CNN 10 years to realize the truth?
No, it only took her that long to finally admit it. Now she's in jail for other charges.
Well, anybody with a functioning brain knew that was a fucking...
Well, it was totally discredited, but she finally admitted that she made it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But there's a difference between thinking you know the truth and her actually admitting to it. And now she's admitting to it.
I mean, it's just yeah, fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing happens with like other big new stories like this that, Mattress Girl or what was that other one? Brock.
Juicy Smollier.
Brock. No,
well, he lied.
I mean, lies in general, yes, but the sexual assault thing that like there's no proof of, people weaponize it. There's clearly no proof, no nothing. There's nothing there except for a claim, and it turns out to be bullshit.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the media decides that they're going to be pushing this bullshit narrative no matter what. It just it ruins innocent people's lives, and the media, the enemy of the people.
Yeah, you've got to be a
Or the corporate
sociopath.
media, not all the media, but the corporate media, like places like CNN and MSNBC, like they're
And Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone, New York Times. I mean, they're culpable for a whole whack of evil.
Yep.
A big surprise here. Big surprise. I'm shocked and appalled.
Well, people say, why do you not believe Christine Blasey Ford about her Brett Kavanaugh things? It's like, well, why do I not believe her? Because when there's a lot of money on the line or a lot of power on the line, especially then, people lie. It's just, why would I trust somebody without proof? It's like, I mean, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, but people just don't understand. There's still people functioning under the believe all women rubric, and that just doesn't make any sense. How many examples do we need of people lying to know that just believing people unconditionally without proof is a bad idea?
Yeah. It's funny whenever there doesn't seem to be any proof of something, it's always the strongest, loudest articles that are always at the forefront, and even in the reverse, where it's Al Rittenhouse, Daniel Penny. It's clear that this is self-defense. This is an act of good, but some bullshit DA and the media just keep pushing it in everybody's faces. Like, here, this person's guilty. This person's guilty. Based on what? Where's the burden? The burden of proof has been evaporated for some reason in these mental patients' brains.
I still remember when I was just a wee person hearing about, as the winds were sort of changing in the workplace, and the people were saying it doesn't have to be actual harassment. As long as they feel like they're being harassed, then that's actionable. I'm like, wait a second. You cannot run the world this way. This is going to go poorly. And here we are. Insane.
Well, most of our societal problems boil down to for the most part, a lot of them boil down to just feminism. It's fucking cancer.
It's not helping.
We have like 8 different types of cancers as like the Western world. It's just like 8 different types of cancer, and they're like morphed into like complete twat waffles like Justin Trudeau. They've given form to like, they're just now living cancer, and they infect anything and everything. Their disgusting greasy little eyes set their bead on, and it's like Adam Schiff and Jamie Ratskin and Gavin Newscomb. Like, I mean, just like so many of these people, and they just come. And you know what? They're the most diverse because they can appear in any culture, and it all boils down to them being massive gaping cunts. By that I mean feminists.
How do you spell Kimberly Guilfoyle's name?
Guilfoyle.
Feminism has ruined society, men, women.
Okay, anytime I think of Newsom and he tries to come off as being relatable, I remember this picture. This is back when he was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle. Here he is in his like
war together, or
yeah, here they are like on some ridiculously expensive rugs, surrounded by antiques, just lying there, just having their little picture, just have as one does, as just like a normal person would do on any given day. Here he is being relatable.
I love that they backed her off to Greece. That's just awesome. That's so cool.
But this scenario explains his TDS, and it's actually been a long time theory of mine that the same thing happened to Bill Maher.
Mm-hmm.
That Bill Maher was dating this smoking lady, and Trump just walked in one day and like swept her off her feet and walked out with her, and like he's been bitter ever since. It explains a lot.
Yeah.
Because like Newsom really hates Don. Like even before 2016.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So, well,
Dark side.
we have to say something nice about
the orange side.
We have to say something nice about women, right? I mean,
No, we
it feels
don't.
well. Okay, I can tell you I can tell you who I like. I like Giorgia Meloni, the PM of Italy, quite a bit. She is pretty damn fantastic, but she has
a rock star.
She has no poker face whatsoever. Here is her reaction to Biden being late a few months ago.
Oh, I know.
Look at the things she does with her eyes.
Yeah.
That's her response to Biden being late. When she doesn't like something, it's very, very obvious that she doesn't like it. I don't know. I kind of enjoy the way she responds to people. So I think I have a thing here of her meeting up with Millet. Let's just look at the difference between the way they.
He's
no,
awesome.
this is him. This is her dealing with Macron.
Oh.
Look at the look on her face. Like it's somewhere between disgust and fear.
I don't want him to touch me. Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
He's not going to try to kiss me. Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, look at the look. She really has no cope at all when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it was effective. He didn't even go for anything.
Well,
like
with the French guy, she's got like no fucks to give, right?
Yeah. Well, he's a fatuous twat. I mean, a useless, supercilious git.
Yep. Perfect.
There's just no there.
She gives the right amount of stink eye to just be like, don't fucking touch me.
Some of the AI stuff that Grok did recently when they let slip the beta version was pretty funny.
So wait, she didn't meet with Javier?
She did, and I'm trying to find it because somebody had a tree fall in their house. Give me
He's awesome, and their quarterly came out, and they're like out of debt or something like that, or
yeah, no, they're fine.
Out of debt after like 100 and some odd years.
And I
incredible.
Oh, this is my favorite meme of the week, which I think I already showed you other guys, but Skep hasn't seen it.
And I stupidly just looked at the tree.
Very good.
What?
Very good.
It makes me so happy.
I've been right there. I have stood right there. I've walked right across that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Were you observing navals?
No, in fact, I wasn't even in the Navy when I did that. I was with one of my.
You don't have to be in the Navy to observe a naval.
No, it's actually on civilian property.
I'm looking at a naval right now.
Military
I'm
property.
observing it, if you would. Skep, he showed this to me, and I looked at where the arrow's pointing at that tree, and I'm like, I don't get it.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah. And anyway,
let's see.
Yeah.
If this is it. No, that's not it. No, screw you, internet. You're ruining everything. Well, the thing is that he walks in, basically they hug, they exchange a few words, she looks happy. And you see also when she's, ow, sorry, pulling a muscle. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, so the Argentine leader is granted citizenship because he has Italian family roots. This is just an excuse, I think, to have a little PR time. And to show, a couple of heads of state who aren't afraid to push back against the prevailing insane trend in Europe to import terrorists and give up your national character.
Give all their power to the EU.
Yeah, these two are saying no, and Italy has offered to really ramp up their deporting schedules, and they are starting to ship a lot of these people who just came in back home, and they are not afraid to do that. And I think Italy's going to deport a lot of these assholes who have just washed up on their shore. They're sick of this shit.
Yep.
I don't blame them. I do not blame them at all. Italy can't. You got to know how Italy works. Italy is about 3 different countries, really, and none of them are good for immigrants. Not in one of the 3. The way I divide up Italy in my brain.
Yeah.
Not any of those 3 areas in Italy offer anything to. Because the jobs are closed. The unions are so strong. These guys can't get into a union. They can't even find work.
Yeah.
You have to be a union to pick crops there. In the orchards in France, you work in a vineyard, you're in a union. These guys can't join a union. There is just terrible trouble ahead for France and these other countries that have admitted in so many people of a substantially different culture that it begins to change the character of their nation. I think Sweden is beginning to feel that with the no-go zones that they have in
Malmo.
Yeah, Malmo. Thank you. Yeah. Malmo. The whole city is practically a no-go.
I mean, like 2/3 of it. Yeah. Basically, if you're native Swede, don't go there or you're fucked.
Yeah, except for way downtown. But yeah.
But it's just.
The suburbs around there and are becoming uninhabitable, and it's a very interesting what Denmark did. You notice how different Denmark's reaction was. They said, "No, fuck no, you're not coming over the line. Come over the line, we'll kill you. We will fucking shoot you." And that's kind of where they are. But they're starting to get migrants filtering in who enter into countries that are friendly with Sweden. They're starting to feel that, and they really hate that in Denmark.
Well, the problem is, like in most, in a lot of Western countries, they have the power of government on their side. Mm-hmm. Like you look at what's happening in parts of rural Ireland, where they're literally building these camps, concentrate a specific imported demographic, and the neighboring peoples are like, "What? No, fuck off! Not here, not here." Yeah. To the point where the government had to bring in, police and troops and stuff to like physically accost these people.
Wow, yeah. I came back to this.
Well, no, that's that.
What do you expect when there's pushback for this type of stuff? Well, we're saying like the pushback is good from people like Maloney and Millet. And hopefully Trump is going to be a big rallying force behind that pushback. Hopefully there'll be an election soon up here, which will, I've been crossing all my toes and fingers together to like, maybe there'll be some pushback there. And maybe the Brits can sort their shit out. But places like fucking Sweden and Australia, they're gone. They're conquered.
How's Polyev doing in the polls?
They're conquered.
I mean, the functional. How is Polyev doing in the polls?
Oh, it's not even.
Or I guess his party.
90-5. It's like 90-5.
90-5 as in everybody wants him?
At the top end, like percentile.
Okay.
So like 90% conservative to like 5%. But that's like at the extreme. Closer to maybe like 80-20.
That's
divided
fine.
Between three parties. The Libs, the Communists, and the Greens.
No, that'll do.
I'm never going to call them the NDP, the New Democrats, because they're just the Communist Party. who's you want it funny? Their biggest sort of like Bernie Sanders rock star figure to ever grace the Communist Party. His wife is now the mayor of my city, and the reason why my city is falling into ruin.
So, we talk about winning and landslides and stuff. And I brought up we had Mondale and Reagan. And then there was, what was the other one? It was McGovern and Nixon.
Yeah, McGovern and Nixon.
Okay.
That was the...
I have another example of winning for you here. So here's the IMDb, the Rotten Tomatoes rating for the movie Stop Making. Oh, you want to talk about politics?
I had to Google it. And I went to like a very, very liberal source. So CBC.
Okay.
Still has the conservatives at 42.7%.
Nice.
Total.
That's not bad.
That's more than double the Liberal Party. So
in a coalition, they might actually pull it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to also consider that the Bloc Québécois is a very conservative French group. So they generally boost the conservatives to probably about an even 50%.
So I don't know if you've seen this movie or if you even care about the Talking Heads functional, but if you want to see a movie with that's crushing it, it's got a 100% on the tomato meter and 97% audience score. It's a concert movie by the Talking Heads. And I have
watched this movie so many times.
I remember going to see this movie live and just the energy of it and the way people
are going outside.
The way people
what did you think
it was
when
amazing.
He comes out with just a guitar and starts doing Psycho Killer?
It was great.
That was
1980.
This is a great movie, and I guess they did like a cleaned up remastered version of it just a few years ago. That's why it came back on my radar. I haven't seen the cleaned up version of it, but I very much want to. As long as he doesn't grow extra fingers from AI, bring it on. No, this is a great movie. But if you want to see what winning looks like, this is winning. But in terms of winners, back to Maloney, right? What I'm seeing is amongst the world leaders and the people, the movers and shakers of the world, things are clearly aligning into a winner's camp. So Musk is in the winner's camp. You see him and Maloney looking at each other, and if the girls were here, we could say, yeah, I can ship that. You could totally imagine them as a power couple. Trump, Millet, all of the winners are starting to take control, and all of the shitty theater nerds are being told to go away for a while. All of the people who screwed everything up, especially for the last 4 years, are being just told to just go fuck off for a while. And the adults have come back, and the winners, and they're going to make things better. God, I hope.
My only concern is I just hope enough people, like here in Canada, let's say, as an example, enough of the normies and the people who would normally vote liberal but are kind of like on the fence now with how shitty things are going would be aware and knowledgeable enough to see how well Italy's starting to do, how well Argentina's done under this new what would you label it, like representative populism, like, because they really are doing things to better their countries from the grips of these tyrannical weirdos like Justin Trudeau, Jacinda Ardern, like who?
Yeah, the Austrian-style freedom incubator that is Argentina.
Would vote for a male feminist.
Yeah, he crosses.
Like Justin Trudeau, like it boggles my mind.
He crosses his legs a lot.
What is with the way he sits like a woman?
He sits like he's trying to make a nice platform for his tiny doily napkin thing, so he can eat his lady fingers.
He's trying to hold in the slurry flow.
Yeah.
Well, he is a drama. He was a drama teacher.
You know, he's definitely a crust trimmed off the sandwich bread type of guy. In the worst possible way.
That's why his wife left him.
All right. Oh, let's see. Utility, Maloney, Baloney. Harry is broken beyond all measure.
I think the last words that she said to him when she left were, cut your own damn crusts.
Make your own damn sandwich.
I should have done that in a French accent, but I don't know French. I am not good at the French, the Québécois.
Okay. Hey, Skep, maybe this will infuriate you as much as it does for me.
Possibly. Never know.
This post, center line code just looks better. I think the comment I wrote next to it was shut your dirty whore mouth.
Fuck you. It does not. That looks like
it doesn't.
You can't even read it.
No, you can't read it. This is like the Antichrist teaching program.
Yes.
This is so fucking terrible.
Programming in hell.
I feel happy.
This is absolutely wrong.
Yeah, it is. Just anybody who has ever written code for a living will look at this and just say, no. You know what this kind of gives me the feel. Have you ever tried this? When I was playing with PL1, I would see how much functionality I could get on one line. You know, just syntactically, you know, like concatenating and you know, piping. And it reminds me of how this looks. I can't describe why they remind me of one another, but they do. They're both wrong. Doing that. I mean, I was effectively doing an entire application's work on one line of code because I had some extra time and wanted to fuck around.
It was fun.
I had written the program. It already worked. It was a simple program. I wanted to see if I could do it on one line. And PL1 is pretty easy to do.
I'll bet you loved APL.
Oh, APL.
It's great. Here you go, Functional. I know you like cats. Here's a cat thing. This is titled Cricket's First Piano Lesson Went Great.
That is funny.
That's really beautiful.
Look at that face. Look at his face. That's cat fails. The cat says no.
That's pretty great. Okay, how about this? That. Daily reminder that Montana looks like Joe Biden sniffing Idaho.
Oh my.
I really am just an overgrown child. Okay.
That is kind of excellent.
Yeah. Oh.
Moving to Montana. Gonna raise up some lonely dental floss.
I'm not gonna bore you with quantum safe.
Name the artist.
Encryption.
Name the artist.
We're not gonna do that. No, we're not gonna do that. This just amuses me just because I don't know why. It just did. Because like I said, I'm an overgrown child. Let's see.
Moving to Montana.
Okay. How about this one? Functional.
You might remember the breakdancer who almost broke the internet over the summer. Ray Gunn represented Australia at the Paris Olympics, and it was so bad that she launched 1 million memes. Well, someone had the bright idea to stage Ray Gunn the musical, which sounds like it could be pretty funny. But just hours before it was set to open, Ray Gunn's lawyers threatened legal action and shut it down.
See, she doesn't like fun. That's the problem. I don't think she knows how to laugh at herself.
No, and that's going to be fatal to her.
Yeah.
She could do a Tim Curry tiptoe through the tulips type of thing, Tiny Tim kind of career out of this. There's so much going on. There's enough publicity behind her, enough name recognition where there's ways to make money just off of that, and that's what people do.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sugar Tits did a video about this, and it turns out that her lawyers threatened not the person who was putting on the musical, but the venue.
Mm.
And so that's a very like cowardly way to just like intimidate the venue to canceling the event. It's really sad because like, I mean, as much as I don't, and it's such a stupid thing, but like, I'm all for, as maybe maximum allowable amounts of freedom. So like she should be allowed to put on her shit without somebody getting her panties or her tracksuit in a bind.
Well, Jeremy Corbyn, the Labour leader in Britain for a bajillion years, and Diane Abbott, one of the dumbest people to ever hold office, they had like a little motorcycle adventure through Eastern Europe, like Eastern Germany in particular, back when they were both young and vibrant. And somebody decided to make a musical out of this historic event. So this actually was a musical about Jeremy Corbyn and Diane Abbott's love trip through Eastern Germany because they're a bunch of commies. So you can make a musical about anything, if you're willing to just put a couple extra syllables into a line. I mean, you can totally do that. It's not a problem.
There is so much wrong with the idea of Jeremy Corbyn and Diane Abbott tooling through East Germany, uttering communist nostrums at one another. The mind reels.
So not just the Delta in California, but the stupid nutrias apparently are ending up near Houston now.
I'm sorry. We have nutria all over Texas. They're terrible in the Dallas-Fort Worth
Wouldn't
area.
they just be great target practice?
Are they British?
And that's what the kids do is they shoot them with pellet guns and with 22s.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, varmints, and they swim up near the surface. I've seen them do it. I've watched them. Watch. It's really scary. Watch these 22s skip off the top of the water. You ever seen this 22s skip off the top of water?
No, no, I haven't.
I didn't know that was a thing. I've seen it several times.
Well, I think both of you gentlemen were around for when I was talking about IPv6 a little bit, right? About them handing out IPv6 addresses. Well, Huawei, everybody's favorite, asked for /17. They had to get so many IPv6 addresses that even the distribution for all of Asia wasn't enough, and they had to be given more of them. That's 2.56 decillion IP addresses that they needed for Huawei.
How many?
2.56 decillion.
Decillion?
Decillion.
That I know what a decillion is, and a decillion in decillion, you're talking about more than the number of grains of sand on the earth.
Yeah.
Decillion. Yeah, because that's sextillion.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, sure. Why not just give Huawei? Because, I mean, I'm sure there's no quid pro quo going on between APNIC, the Asian distribution thing, and, I don't know, the Chinese Communist Party or Huawei or whatever. It just kind of stinks of privilege to me. Can't prove it, just allegedly, but this is a back room smoke filled deal if there ever was one.
Is this just so that they won't feel hemmed in?
Yeah. Well, it says, do not assume Huawei has decillions of devices to connect, though, or ever will. I believe this is for their private cloud vision that they have in mind. It's still a ridiculous number.
This is some number that is generated by, the number of combinations of this doing this to these other things results in this really gigantic number that could be construed to be the number of nodes, and therefore that's how many addresses we need.
Well, also for private cloud type stuff, this is absolutely ridiculous. If you're running what's called a multi-tenant private cloud, okay, where you have multiple different users of this cloud, and you engineer it the correct way, it doesn't matter if customer A or say tenant A.
You can segment that off.
No, it's not segmenting it. It's namespacing it. So you can essentially set it up so that if customer A
I call it segmenting,
and customer
well,
segmenting is a different thing. So customer B
segmenting is physical,
and customer C can all use the same private addresses in their private cloud, right?
Yep.
It's just the gateway IPs where you have to worry about not having these collisions. There is no earthly reason why they need this many IPv6 addresses. This is almost like they did it just because they wanted to rub their nipples because they got special treatment or something. I don't know. I can't make sense out of it. But, Asia, good job. I think they shouldn't have given AppNic extra addresses. I think they should have said, if you want to give all your remaining addresses to Huawei, that's a you problem.
What do you think the probability is that IPv6 addresses will be completely and 100% obsolete before they ever use a significant portion of those decillion addresses?
I don't think IPv6 is going to be obsolete. I think
in 100 years. You don't think it? You think it'll be you think we'll be using IPv6 in 100 years?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but I'd say it's not unlikely.
I don't think we're going to be computed. No.
We got away with using IPv4 and still are for a hell of a long time. I don't think this is going to be like the 640K.
The rate of development is increasing here.
Rate of development is slower. There's intentionally it's built into the design that there are enough addresses to support whatever stupid thing we want to do.
I understand that. It's materials that will overcome this. We won't use anything like computers or phones to communicate.
You have wandered into the realm of science fiction. You may be completely right.
I'm speculating.
You're extrapolating, and extrapolations don't work that way. No, I mean, it just sounds like science fiction to me. You're saying that because of the rate of change is happening so fast, we'll clearly use something different. We don't know what it is. We just know it won't be this.
No, you framed it wrong.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that before you use any percent of a decillion addresses, humanity will probably not exist anymore. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Maybe
all right. If you're going to say that, well, I mean, yeah, we could easily unalive ourselves as a species before they allocate all of those.
No.
Well, we'd be using quantum entangled.
No, because of the sun's going to go away in about 1 billion years. It's not going to last as long as everybody thinks. It's going to get uninhabitable easily within 1 billion years. In 1 billion years, I don't think you could use and I'm serious about this, in 1 billion years, you would not use a significant proportion of a decillion addresses. This is like the space thing. People think space, the planet's just over there. I can see the moon. Look, it's right there. And the stars, they're just right. No, they're not. They're so far away, you can't even conceive of how far away they are. The fact that we get a pinpoint of light from something so gigantic is absolute miracle. And that's the same sort of misconception here. It's a misconception of scale.
What if we filled Stephanie Abrams with nanites and gave each of them IPv6?
What Borgs? That's how you get Borgs.
Exactly.
You would need a decillion of them.
You enjoyed that stupid thing I posted, right?
Which one?
No, the one. Let's see, where is it? It's in Just for Fun. It was this one. I assimilated you, but I still don't understand you. Flirpty hundy floon. What have you done? Now I can't understand the others.
Oh, yeah.
Schmurd schmorpy glindy bloot. A strange ship is approaching, but I can't punish mood. Hoof dot, too bad. You'll be a Surmagurgurd. Resistance is flumpty. We are the pork. Okay, I should never do that again. All right.
That's funny.
Yes, but not funny enough. All right, where was I? I was going through all of these things. Oh, no, we can't do that. We're going to get copy struck. Sorry.
I just saw you this is a big.
It is a big thing.
Inconceivable.
It is
literally
inconceivable. It's literally inconceivable.
This is actually a thing that's in Wikipedia. The Cox-Zucker machine. In arithmetic geometry, the Cox-Zucker machine is an algorithm created by David A. Cox and Stephen Zucker. The name sounds similar to the obscenity cocksucker. This was a deliberate choice by Cox and Zucker, who conceived of the idea, co-authoring a paper in 1970, while first-year graduate students at Princeton, for the express purpose of enabling this joke. They followed through on it 5 years later as members of the faculty at Rutgers and the State University of New Jersey. Yes, so there is actually something in arithmetic geometry called the Cox-Zucker machine. I was amused.
You know, that's probably the most fun those two little nerds have had.
Yeah.
In their entire graduate school life.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Cocksucker.
The Cocksucker machine.
Anything for what's it called? Anything for a legacy. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather be known for the Cox-Zucker machine than, I don't know, taking the most dicks in a day. I mean,
oh God, yes.
Or
yeah, I don't want to talk about that because it makes
dogs on a Sunday.
Because it makes me sad.
Down.
And it would be a fairly easy argument to win, but I just would feel terrible at the end of it. So I did see this on YouTube, and it kind of made me sad.
All the nuclear weapons that have ever been designed are basically fire.
By the way, he's an expert.
Bombs. That's important because the military in the United States after the war, not being able to figure out the effects of this weapon, would calculate only the blast effects.
Okay, Skep already knows the answer, so I'm going to just not go to him. This guy seems to be wondering, why did we only calculate the blast effects of the nuclear bombs when we were doing our military planning? Why would the United States only do that? Well, the reason is because we weren't designing these bombs to kill civilian populations as firebombs. The purpose of these nuclear devices was to incapacitate the enemy's ability to make war and to destroy hardened targets. So all they really cared about primarily was how big an overpressure you could make over a certain radius to knock out hardened targets. The fire, from the perspective of American military planners, was incidental. So this guy claiming to be an expert, it's like, I'm just some random idiot on the internet. Okay, what do I know about anything? But when I hear some guy like this talk, who probably is right about many other things, okay, or Neil deGrasse Tyson, I just go, no, my bullshit detector's going off like very, very loudly. You don't understand, or you're being dishonest, one or the other. I can't figure it out. Right, Skep?
Yep.
I don't get it. What was he saying?
He's saying that they talk about the effects of nuclear weapons, but they only look at the blast radius. They don't look at its effect as a firebomb. They meaning military planners. And he doesn't understand why.
Oh.
And that's because we weren't building nuclear devices for the purpose of wiping out civilian populations. That's never what we planned them
I understood your side of it. I didn't understand what he was claiming.
So he's an expert, and he fundamentally doesn't understand what he's talking about. That's the problem. Like I said, he's either ignorant or he's dishonest. And I just
wasn't sure what he was wrong on, and I get it now.
Yeah.
I think he wants attention. I think he knows he's full of shit. I hope so.
He's just creating a narrative about, big bad America and how we didn't think about the human damage.
It's amazing how many people who are completely full of shit have so much attention on the internet, though.
I'm so sorry the war sucks. I'm so sorry, but it sucks.
Yeah. And mutually assured destruction. What a terrible idea. Because if anything ever happened, we'd both be mutually destroyed.
That's right.
Yeah. It's the least bad option, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is the perfect tension, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't click on that because it's going to be a dead link.
Yeah, but can't we just shoot them down with the Jewish space lasers?
Well, you guys control the weather. Can't you just make it muddy there so they can't do anything?
That too.
It's fine. Maloney. I like the fact that a winner's circle is basically developing amongst world leaders.
Yeah, the Czechs are doing some promising things, making some promising noises.
Yeah, I like what the Polish are doing with a lot of things too. They're work with the arts. I feel like they're almost single-handedly keeping the Western tradition alive in the arts, in the fine arts.
It's a strong sentiment in Poland. Good friend of mine, his son lives over there. This kid was born and raised in Texas, and but because he's Polish, he decided he was going to go live in Poland and learn Polish, and that's exactly what he's done. And there is quite a spirit of devotion to the arts, of culture and tradition, and it really resurged after World War II, when Poland got to put itself back together and become a country.
Yeah. So did you hear that
a republic in the Soviet Union?
That Nancy Pelosi fell down and broke her hip, or
yes, she did. In fact,
broke her hip and fell down. I'm not really sure which order those things happened in.
All right, here, actually, as I understand it, it was the same thing that happened to my wife. My wife slipped and fell, got up, and said, "Oh man, that really hurt my hip." And she actually walked outside and was going to do chores, and we were starting our day. It was like 6 a.m, and all of a sudden I hear, "Frank," and she's on the ground. "I can't move. My hip's broken." One thing about Brenda, early in her life, she was actually a nurse. A very successful nurse. She knew exactly what it was, and she said, "It's when I fell, I broke it, but it didn't slip out until now." And now she's got a titanium hip, and it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
she's like a new woman.
Yeah, which is fantastic. My great uncle had that sort of thing done. He was a big tennis player, well into his later years, and he couldn't play tennis. He was just his favorite thing to do was play tennis. He was one of those guys, and he loved it. And he got the titanium hip, and then suddenly it's like, I can play tennis again. I feel like I got my life back.
Exactly. It really makes a difference.
Maybe I need to have a surgery done or something, because in my mind, having never gone through something like that, I can't imagine that propofol would be strong enough that something like that would happen. The things they can do to a human body when it's completely sedated, it's like, holy crap. Replacing a hip, that is hardcore. That's some serious surgery. But we do it, and we know how to do it. It's good.
You know what, though? The surgery itself, the incision is surprisingly small, and the technique they use to get this hip in there is just ingenious.
Yeah.
I gotta hand it to them. The orthopedic guys are all frustrated mechanical engineers, I'm pretty convinced, or carpenters.
Well, how do they connect it to the pelvic bones?
Well, they don't. That's the thing.
What do they connect
you lose. You can't bend over anymore. Okay? All it does is it just sits in there. It doesn't lock in like the old ball used to. It just goes into the joint. And so the thing is, there's a move that you can never do. There's a kind of bending over that you can't ever do after you get one of these hips, and because that thing will come right out of you, and you'll have to go see the doctor. It will be expensive.
Well, Pelosi is really pretty damn old. How old is she now? She's like well into her high 80s, isn't she?
She's like 86 or something. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely old enough that this kind of injury, it's going to take a while for her to repair. I think politically...
She's 84.
Between what's happened with the loss of Biden and Kamala, right? And all this other stuff. And I don't know if she's going to be an effective power broker anymore. By the time she gets back into the swing of things, I think the world's going to have moved on from listening to her. But
you may be right.
We can only hope.
The thing is, she holds a lot of chits in Congress. She has a lot of people she can tell to do unpleasant things if you don't play ball with her. And she is known as a person who will do that.
I would like to see her lose political power because that would be one less person behind Newsom.
Thing about it is political power on both sides, I tend to think, remains the same. It just goes to inhabit a different body. You know, it just the political power will devolve to people who are even, you know, I'm tired of Pelosi too, but there
Former
are
House Speaker
Hakeem Jeffries is a lot more radical than Nancy Pelosi is.
Mm-hmm.
You won't like you know, if you don't like her, you really won't like dealing with him.
Well, sometimes things just get to be so annoying that you just want a different person to dislike. And that's almost where I am with Pelosi. But yeah. It's
she's disgusting.
You know,
I can't believe she's but you look at her, and that's the Italian. She does not have a gray hair. Her hair has not even started to turn gray. And that's the Italian genes.
Well, what I liked about God, who was it? The one who looked like Lucy Van Pelt all grown up. Dianne Feinstein. Yeah.
Oh, Dianne Feinstein.
The thing about Dianne Feinstein,
that's very good.
She was an old school Democrat with a capital D. You know, you'd see a Feinstein fundraiser, and it was just people writing $10,000 checks, wearing gold rings and stuff. And it's like, oh, we're with the people. No, you're not. You're one of those people wearing a suit with a $2,000 briefcase, as you just.
Feinstein was San Francisco royalty, man.
She was.
She was on the board of supervisors when Milk got shot. Boy, that really takes me back. Or was she mayor then? She might have been mayor then.
No, Feinstein was. Yeah, she was. I think.
Yeah. I got to check. I'll look. But seems like she was in an executive position. And Alioto, all those guys back in the day, sound like Joe Biden right now. That was the genesis too of Nancy Pelosi. That was when she got started.
And she's a hell of an investor.
Yeah.
Take a look at the graphic I just posted.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Pelosi index versus the inverse Kramer index.
Yes. Oh, the Hillary Clinton commodities trading record versus the average Joe's commodity trading record is, you know, like 14 standard deviations different.
Yes, makes me want to go check my E-Trade account. see who wins. Now I'm actually curious. God damn it. This is like me hearing the word pie and then getting hungry. I really should. I need to stop being so suggestive.
Think about sex.
Yeah, don't be an overgrown child. All right, let's see. Where are we? We are close to the end. What else do we need to talk about before we go? Now, Functional's been too nice to me today. He does not need to see this thing that I found.
What?
It's some food thing, and it'll just make you angry. You don't need
Not
to be
really.
any angrier.
I'm so full of beef ribs that I slow cooked all day. Like
nice.
Oh, nice.
We also had sausage and rice. It was
proper ribs.
Beef ribs are fantastic, and honestly,
Yeah, they were
Texas
beef
really does it well.
And just what I did is first infuse them in the pressure cooker, and then let them slow cook at like 225, 250, like 9 hours.
What'd you cook them on? What'd you cook them in? Oven? In an oven?
Oh, in the oven, yeah. Because I don't have a barbecue, so I had to fake barbecue at the end.
Yeah.
Turn on the broiler,
right?
Get the glaze on it, and then just shove it under there for like
caramelize
30,
it.
40 seconds,
Yeah.
get that
Yeah.
nice, like the edges nice and blackened, and then caramelize the top. It was just
Good
fake
stuff.
BQ, you know?
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well,
hey man, you're an artist. You can do that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that.
If there's one thing Elwin and I will always do, it's eat well. I mean, sure, some nights it's just like, let's just order pizza. I can't even stand straight, but like most of the rest of the week, it's good stuff. She didn't have a very broad, diverse palette, so slowly introducing things here and there, just subtle. What do you think? She's like, yeah, I really dig this. I don't know what that tastes. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like star anise or whatever. And she's like, oh, I've never had that before. Or like, just different style things that I do myself that are completely different, like mixing different cuisines that I am either familiar with or not familiar with, depending on the day, but trying new things. Like the other day, combining the Moroccan and Asian flavors. Szechuan chicken wings with no, there was this is something completely different. We made a pork loin the other night where it was rubbed in za'atar, heavy Moroccan seasoning, and then blackened, then smothered in some Szechuan glaze, and glazed that in the oven. And then it just like, it was, okay. Pork is notorious for getting just right? So it was a hair over, so it was just a hair drier. Could have used maybe some sauce on top, but it's not. It was so perfect. So perfect. Oh. Ooh.
Assassin sent me a thing on the drones.
Oh.
And I didn't have time to pivot to it while I was busy doing a bunch of other stuff. I am such a broken person right now. It's so funny. I got like way too dehydrated and did way too many hours of things that I don't usually do. It's like, man,
yeah,
maybe I should chop down trees more often. There's some muscles that just aren't getting a workout otherwise.
So what does he have to say about it?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I'm asking.
It's 9 minutes, so we can't really do all 9 minutes of it.
Jesus.
Let's see if we can get the gist of it.
Hey everyone, my name is John Ferguson. I'm the CEO of Saxon Aerospace here in Wichita, Kansas. I'm not normally a TikTok kind of a guy. I like watching this stuff every once in a while. But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here. There's all of these mysterious drones.
So he knows about drones. That's good. Okay.
Going on off the East Coast, and as a professional, as a subject matter expert, I wanted to give you all my opinion on what I think could be going on with these drones. I don't particularly believe that these have a nefarious intent. I could be wrong, but I want to give you the truth and what I believe. It's my own opinion, and I've not bounced this off of anybody. So, if you think it's bullshit, whatever, that's cool. I don't want to spread misinformation.
Today, Junior.
Yeah, I sped up the speed a little bit because he's equivocating a little bit here.
There's a lot of that going around. But anyway, back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were...
He's doing a deep dive. I don't feel like we have another 8 minutes left in us.
Yeah, do we know...
Ronald Reagan dismantled the nuclear program.
Well, there was the START talks, right? And that was a reduction, but that's not dismantling. Oh, we only have thousands of nuclear warheads. Did you ever see Battlefield Earth, the movie?
Hell yes.
That movie is terrible, but in the best possible way.
Yes, it is. It is both amazing and awful.
Yeah, you cannot use a jet that's thousands of years old with fuel still in the tank. You cannot use an unmaintained nuclear device as a man animal to go after these things. That movie had some real factual problems. It's as if L. Ron Hubbard didn't understand the technology he was writing about.
You think?
Or didn't care.
He didn't care. He was a Naval Academy grad. He was a smart guy. He had the engineering background, and he was intelligent. He knew the sciences.
You know, so I go back and listen to the show for quality assurance purposes, and it's amazing the number of times I realize that I did not understand what somebody was saying. Like, people will have these whole conversations, and I'll hear Functional say something, and I'll realize only 12 hours later that, oh, he was actually saying something completely different. It's the whole thing with multitasking. Like, I totally did not get the point you were trying to make about the IPv6 thing earlier. I thought you were trying to say it would be obsolete technology, and no, you were making another statement about, you know,
I was making
at the rate of speed you'll never get there. You know, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, that I wish I'd said it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So that can be a problem. I'm very tired. We should probably
you hear that,
stop.
Skep? He just doesn't listen to us.
I do.
Harry
That's the
knows
funny thing.
very well that I know what a network segment is. I misspoke. I meant to use segment as a verb, and I got caught up in my, while I was thinking and speaking at the same time, old people. Right. So sorry about that.
No, it's just sometimes words matter.
Yeah, sometimes words matter. I should not have used the word segment because I know very well what a segment is.
Yeah, I know you do.
Plus, Harry's keeping us way past our bedtimes.
But no, the thing is that I do frequently. So I'll go back and I'll look at something chat said, and I'll be like, God damn it, I wish I'd seen that when the show was on. Or I'll be like, oh my God, I was talking to Functional or Sora, and they were actually saying something different than what I thought they were saying at the time. It's actually really hard to juggle all of the things on this screen. I can totally see why you need to have a producer if you're doing this like as a professional. That I don't think most people could do a good job as a professional trying to do all of the pieces. You have to have other people helping you. I think it would be a pretty rare person who could do a good job of that. So, that whole Brett Cooper leaving the Daily Wire thing is kind of funny.
Yeah. Oh, it's sad.
I don't.
You
why
know
did
the
something
story
bad happen
behind that?
No, I mean I don't.
Yeah.
Does anybody
it's
know?
terrible.
Is this allegedly, or do you actually know?
No, this is real.
Okay, what's happened?
Here's what I know.
Okay.
And I'll just put it out there. Brett Cooper was best friends. In fact, this woman was her maid of honor with her producer named Reagan. Reagan is a cute little blonde girl who's sort of like the blonde frack to her frick. And they were just a twosome. They were best friends, besties forever, and all that stuff. And so Jeremy Boring started having Reagan do hits for when Brett was out of the office, for whatever reason. And he decided to replace Brett with Reagan. He thinks Reagan is just better for the company, better for the show, and it was a tough decision. And he basically let her go.
Do you have
That's
a
what
source?
happened? And now listen to this.
Do you have hold on? Do you have a source for this, or
this is generally known. This is generally known. It's all over Twitter. And
Okay.
it's not just speculation. And Jeremy Boring put out a statement that there's lots behind this. Guys, go research this out for yourself. But there's a big story behind this. Look into the thing. And the other thing is, and you watch Brett Cooper's Facebook, and she has carefully removed every old picture she had of Reagan. All her wedding pictures with Reagan in gone. It's like Reagan has disappeared from Brett Cooper's life, and Brett is just making these vague statements about how excited she is about going forward. And I'll bet the phone's ringing off the hook because she's got a load of talent. And, it's going to be interesting to see where she lands. I don't think this is going to hurt her at all. I think it's going to hurt the Daily Wire. And I think Jeremy Boring made a really stupid and naive decision.
do you remember, well, of course you do, but I don't know if you were involved in the internet, at least watching media stuff back when this happened, but in the very beginning of when podcasts turned into streams on things like YouTube, like 2006, and before that, I guess when it was actually just a podcast, did you ever see Rocket Boom?
Rocket Boom, no.
Yeah, that used to be like the top dog in these things. You'd get, cute, quirky female who'd talk about news, and it would be just this little short thing. She'd sit in front of a map and make some jokes, and that would be that. Rocket Boom.
Ha.
Sora has decided to join us. Yes,
No.
we are.
Wait, hold on. Sora. Where are you? I have to find. See, this is why I need staff. Where in the hell is the window I'm looking for? Hi, Sora.
Hello.
I'm incompetent.
No.
No, I'm just semi-old and broken today. Because a tree fell on my shit.
I'm sorry about your tree.
Yeah, me too.
Did it damage beyond did it put a hole through the roof or just smash the panels?
I lost one solar panel at least, and I have to replace the solar panel. But the roof itself seems to be okay.
It's good.
Yeah. You want to know the sad thing where occasionally people say, Harry, you seem like a nice guy. No, I'm not. My neighbor, for the longest time, would complain about all of the leaves from my tree ending up in his gutters. And he annoyed me enough about it. He didn't ask me the right way, because there's a way to ask where I think Sora or I or any semi-reasonable but occasionally vindictive person would just say, yeah, fine. Okay, I totally get it. I'll take care of it, right? But he didn't do that. Instead, he pissed me off. So I just said, this tree has been here longer than you have. And as long as you're alive, this tree remains. And
well, time for him to go, I guess.
He died. He died a few years ago, and his wife, who outlasted him, died just recently. And then the tree gave way.
I'm glad they went before the tree did.
The tree just barely outlasted them.
The tree just gave up.
See, the thing is, that's an evil thing, but I know that evil Sora will appreciate it. I wasn't going to say that, but now that Sora's here, it's like, okay.
That's funny.
I have to own up to this.
That's good.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah,
good times. All right, well, I think we're going to end the show, and then we're all going to hang out, right?
That's usually what we do.
That's usually how this works. Yeah. Some of you, man, a bunch of you people, you really should try to come on the show with us, because we're fun people, and we're even more fun when we're not live. And with that, this has been your Minions of the Zoo for Saturday. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. The zoo is closed.